The Alzheimer's Disease Center is very important to UC Davis for several reasons. It is important in really helping us to address the health care issues that cover the entire lifespan. This is an increasing burden for the population to have the fear of Alzheimer's disease in their loved ones and maybe in themselves as we get older. And having this resource is really critical in helping to create new knowledge that will actually develop treatments for this condition.
One of the first colleagues that I met when I came to UC Davis was Charlie DeCarli and Ladson Hinton as well. And we developed a very quick and ready relationship because we have a common vision and we share some values that are really important about caring for people and their families. And it was a natural for the School of Nursing to partner with the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center and then ultimately to form the LARC, the Latino Aging Research Resource Center, together. And so we have this common interest, and the Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation really liked that. We have this base here of interdisciplinary scholars who are looking at the issues from many different perspectives.
It kind of brings those two worlds together, the world of basic research and the world of clinical research, brings them together in one enterprise where we have great strengths in both. We have this wonderful Alzheimer's Disease Center, we have this wonderful basic neuroscience on campus. If we can get those working in partnership and get the right support for them, amazing, magical things can happen.
So during the training that I received through the diversity supplement, at the same time I applied for a LARC pilot grant from the Latino Aging Research Resource Center and received that funding to do more work around dementia caregiving. And those training opportunities and that funding really paved the way to me being able to get a faculty position with the Alzheimer's Disease Center. During my faculty appointment, I applied for a K-12 from our Clinical Translational Science Center and received a K-12 that allowed me to really look at these disparities in cognitive health and dementia caregiving and begin to translate some of the work that I had been doing in the Vietnamese population to intervention work and beginning to explore some of the experiences of caregivers, talk to different stakeholders, and develop this innovative intervention to address disparities in an underserved group.
What prompted me to apply to the Neuroscience of Cognitive Aging Fellowship was that this is an incredibly unique program. There's, like I said, not a lot of people doing navigation research in the MR scanner to begin with, and much less very few people of that group that are looking at this across aging. And so being able to combine those two interests was incredibly rare, and so that's what really drew me to this program. Being able to work with this group of people, this diverse set of researchers, is something that most people don't get the opportunity to do in their entire career, much less in a postdoctoral fellowship. I'll be able to learn from fantastic neuropsychologists who are doing incredible testing with these subjects. I'll be able to work with pathologists who are looking at the microscopic aspects of cell changes across aging, healthy and abnormal, and I'll be able to work with great psychologists and neurologists that just can bring all of that together. I mean, the collaborative aspect is something that people wish for an entire career, and I'm lucky enough to have it right now.
First of all, we're helping to build the Alzheimer's research personnel pipeline. We're bringing young, really bright, enthusiastic individuals into doing Alzheimer's and cognitive aging research. I think just the collaborations that have happened, there have been important advances that have come out of these meetings. I wouldn't go so far to say as we've produced major breakthroughs, but I think for a conference that meets once a year, we've had a very large impact on the science of the field.
This really tremendously helped my career, and when I started, especially when I started as a new faculty, young faculty. So this award has really helped my career. And as I said, that my first RO1, I got RO1 1 year after this pilot award. So that is really helpful. And the most exciting thing is that I was able to start from that idea generated about 6 years ago, and then now advanced to the current clinical trial. So I'm excited about that. My effort may potentially one day help the people suffering from Alzheimer's disease. And I want to say that this pilot award made the initiation of my project possible.
The collaboration with UC Davis initially started with the CANDLE study, which stands for the Kaiser Healthy Aging and Lifetime Diversity Study. And this is the study that we are doing with both Dr. Mungus and Dr. DeCarli. And I was drawn to collaborating with them because I wanted to collaborate with a group that had expertise in minority cognitive aging, and we know that Dr. Mungus is a expert in this. A group that has expertise in vascular brain imaging and neuroimaging, and also a group that appreciates and understands epidemiology. I wanted to collaborate with a group that had expertise in Alzheimer's disease and neuroimaging and vascular injury and minority cognitive aging, but a group that also has a track record of successfully collaborating in large-scale epidemiologic studies, and a group that was not afraid to appreciate and understand how can you find clues and answer questions with large population-based data.
We'd really like somebody with some firepower in the field of drug discovery, and you're the director of the Contract Center at UC Davis. You know, you have a pretty good reputation and developing sort of center projects and being involved in moving large projects forward. Would you be interested? And I hadn't actually really thought that much about moving into Alzheimer's research, although certainly there were parallels with what we were doing in our Counteract program. But this seemed like a really fun opportunity. And so I sat down with Li Wei and sat down with Heike. We said, yes, let's do this. This looks like it could be a lot of fun and very profitable for many different research endeavors here at UC Davis. So that's when I actually finally met Charlie DeCarli, who I actually did not know prior to that initiative. And it was a great group of people, and I think it was a really, truly synergistic experience. I've been involved in a lot of initiatives over the course of my career where you bring people together, sit them in a room, and hope something magical happens, and it doesn't. This is one of those opportunities where things seem to gel. People got really excited about this opportunity. And again, I think because of the project itself, I mean, this really could lead to some major developments and advances in the field of Alzheimer's research. But also, there were a lot of potential spin-offs from this project that could impact other ongoing research here at UC Davis. And I think that was one of the reasons I was attracted to it, and I found it really engaging to work with this particular group of people.
When I first came to UC Davis, the thing that that impressed me the most was the collegiality among the investigators in this group. They truly work together. Coming from a smaller institution like Kansas, I can just do so much more here. It's not only a great fit with world-class scientists that are leaders in the field in which I'm really interested in Latino health, in cognitive aging, neuroscience of Alzheimer's disease and cognitive aging, but there's also just so many more resources to bring to bear here. And I can go from having a thought or a set of hypotheses and aims to actualizing it just much faster here, and I think on a bigger scale, and these things are really exciting me.
I've been very fortunate to be joined by John Morrison, who has taken over there as director of the Primate Center, and my colleagues in the imaging world who have developed new imaging tools. Together, I believe we can start looking at non-human primate models and other animal models, particularly looking at genetic influences and specific abnormal protein influences on the brain, independent of, quote, Alzheimer's disease, but looking at these more specifically, looking at non-invasive imaging and cognitive function in these models to ascertain what are the common pathways that these disease processes injure the brain, and how might we use innovative or alternative or novel methods to support brain health that may or may not be related directly to the protein, the abnormal proteins such as the amyloid beta and the tau, but may be completely different, may have something to do with maintaining synaptic plasticity or mitochondrial function or some other yet undetermined characteristic of the nerve cells that allows them to resist these injury mechanisms.